Hello, Phoenix. So I really did want to just go over your chart with you. I'm so about helping people understand their energy. When you know your energy, when you know who you are, you're unstoppable. You will move on the straight and narrow to your destiny. So I'm going to attempt to do the screen share. I mess this up almost every time I do this. Um, so here is your natal chart. Hope and pray you see this. It says stop sharing. So, okay. So you need to consider yourself to be a Virgo. Your ascendant sign is in Virgo. I use the whole sign system. Everyone cuts this chart up in different ways. I use whole signs. So if you talk to other people and these pie pieces are not equal, they might tell you a few things that are different, but just take it all in. It's all right. So, um, but in the way that I cut the chart up, I do it equally with whole signs. And so you need to see yourself as a Virgo. Okay. And in your first house, you have this little thing right here, Chiron. And first of all, the first house is the house of self. Anything that's there, it kind of like defines the individual. It's you. Each area on this chart, each little pie piece represents a different area of life. So this first one is you. So you are a Virgo. I would not be surprised if you're really into health and wellness, if you could go long periods of time without eating, if you need to like straighten and clean up and organize and have to-do lists. Some of that jumping in and saying, oh, let me do it, that's Virgo. Virgo is helping energy, and it's also sort of like this kind of energy that is a problem fixer. Um, the sum of your fear and yeah, just your struggle with fear, it's because you're a Virgo rising. Virgo is one of those signs that struggles with fear and self-esteem. Actually, Virgo is not an easy sign to be born under. There's a couple that I think are pretty hard, one of which is Virgo. The other one is Scorpio, and you have a lot of scorpionic energy, but Scorpio, Pisces, you're not a Pisces, but you got a lot of scorpionic energy. That's what makes you so sensitive. But you do have a planet in Pisces, which to a certain degree, and it's a significant planet. Another sign that's pretty hard to be born under would be Capricorn. So, you know, you have a very challenging sign. You're basically in the school of Virgo. And in your first house of self, you have Chiron. Something I would do if I was look up, I would Google or do searches for Virgo ascendant, Virgo rising, as well as Chiron in the first house. Okay. Because Virgo is sort of like a sign that's about victimization. And Virgo is like the kind of energy where they feel like they can fix people. I have a son who is his birthday is in the season of Virgo. The friend that I told you who got pregnant at 18, she actually has a lot of Virgo energy. Her son is in Virgo. And so like Virgos, sometimes they're just like super nitpicky and they don't mean to be. That's what Virgo does, but Virgos can nitpick people to death. And it's their job to kind of sort of find like the problem and so that it can be fixed. So a lot of times people don't realize if we didn't have Virgo energy, we would never be able to improve things. Um, and some of these energies, actually, let's see here. Yeah. So, Libra is no. Okay. I was trying to think of the other mutable signs. Gemini, for instance, is the kind of energy that improves things, but Gemini is fun. I know you say your daughter is bossy, but she probably has like some Capricorn in there or something earthy or fire. That's her ascendant sign. Because Gemini is light energy. Let's have fun. Let's play. But what you'll notice with her is as she gets older, everyone will be like, man, this is like, I can't figure this out. And she'll just be able to figure it out. Or if something needs to be improved, you're like, I'm trying to figure out how to make this better. She can do that. Whereas Virgo energy, and people welcome that. Oh, it's like, oh, it's so much better. Thank you, Gemini. Whereas Virgo energy is the kind of energy that's like, okay, this, and this is all wrong. It's not going to work. It's going to cause things to go wrong. And that's how Virgos come. They are like, I'm just going to tell you what's wrong. They don't really sugarcoat it or whatever because they're about the business of getting it done, you know? So some of that energy that you talked about that's in your relationship stems from this. And so it really boils down to you having good boundaries with yourself and making sure that you don't um, help people when they haven't asked for help. And it's okay if people sort of fail because failure is a part of how people grow and mature. But you also have this Chiron there. Chiron is the wounded healer. And so there's some type of wounding that you it could be from another lifetime, it could be something from your childhood, some wounding that you carry with you that once you get in touch with this wound and you get it healed up, then you're going to be able to help other people do the same. So with it being in the first house, I would think, and it being Virgo, like you may feel like you're not, you may feel inadequate. Let me say it that way. Um, there may be some level of shame that you have. I just have to sort of like give scenarios of what I think it could be based on what I see here. So you know better how to define it, but it's like you need to do work to heal yourself. Okay. You definitely need to do self development work. The majority of your planets are on the right side of your chart. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you have 6 planets over here, 4 over here. And so when you have the majority of the planets on this side of the chart, it's about the self and self-development, really doing things to kind of like evolve and grow. And, we really can't do anything to improve ourselves because we're perfect. But what we can do is do a better job of opening ourselves up to see the fullness and greatness of who and what we are. So you constantly need to be doing things that help you to evolve your understanding of yourself beyond any inner wounding. And it could be that you can't see the wound. You don't, it's in a blind spot, or you may be in touch with this wound. But you definitely want to be moving your identity outside of that wound. So your ascendant is Virgo. You need to see yourself as a Virgo. When you listen, if you decide to listen to astrological horoscopes, you need to listen to Virgo first, because everything that's going on in the planets. So the black ones are where the planets were on the day that you were born, and the green ones are where they are today. Everything that's going on, it's in relationship to this first house. So Virgo is really and truly, you're going to have to learn to make sure that you don't give away yourself, your services. You need to go get a skill, because Virgo is, the energy of people who who are highly skilled. The problem with Virgo is Virgo's always trying to save people. And so, you know, you can't be giving your stuff away. I know you said you're an artist. People need to show you your worth. You know, you got your sun down here in Libra in the second house, which is about worth and self-value. Libra on that second house is really, really good. You have your sun there. I don't know if your father has had quite a bit to do with how you view your self-worth and your value. The son a lot of times can be looked at as the father, so that's why I said that. But or it could be things that you learned from your dad, teachings that your dad gave you, really have uh, established how you view yourself, how you the worth, the value of things. Um, and oh, but that Libra being there, you know, Libra is about, like I told you on the phone, Libra is like, I need to have some semblance of value and worth within myself. And, you know, you value the arts, and um, you may even value money because you are born under um, Virgo, and that's a earth sign. Earth signs are here to manifest. You should be seeking to manifest in the physical, and you should be paid your worth. You need to get a skill that allows you to be paid your worth, and then you get paid that way, because don't be giving your stuff away. But you'll always be one who's committed to community service and helping the community. It's who and what you are. You cannot get away from that. Your moon, like we talked about, is in Aquarius. And I have to say that that moon in the sixth house, I was like, oh, that's a challenging placement. The sixth house actually is the house where the energy that established the meaning of that house is Virgo. And it a lot of times sort of has to do with the things that we're going to struggle with. And it's sort of like Virgo has to be in balance. And then your Libra, this energy of balance is very important for you. And so for you, in order for you to really stay balanced, you have to have, like you were talking about, oh, I can get up, I can do this, I can do that. You know, in motherhood shows us how to get it all done, because we can't not do it just because we're moms. And so, you know, I don't know if your daughter gets up early, if you get up early, but maybe you need to get up at like 4 in the morning so that you can get certain things done, because your daily routines are life for you. Like, I mean, everything, you need these daily routines. Um, and the sixth house also has to do with, it has to do with our health and our wellness. You've got to keep your health together. And it also has to do with where we work. And so for you, you may want to find a job online. You may want to do online work. What you do, you really do have to like it. So you just really need to make sure you find places that don't energetically drain you and make you feel bad. But the sixth house, just with your moon being there, like we know your moon is in Aquarius, and this makes you very much mental. Also, when I say mental, I should say, you know, it's all about the mind. So definitely part of your routines should be meditation, should be doing things that keep your mind healthy, using energy work, things like feng shui or shui, however you say it, using crystals, spiritual baths, anything that shifts your energy, smudging the house, just so much of this stuff that I know you were exposed to by your mom is important for your health, and that you do this on a regular basis. And you just have to really make peace with life for you can be a little bit on the serious side. You know, other people, they might be laughing and having fun, but you're just gonna be sort of serious. You're sort of gonna be like this sobering person. That moon in Aquarius also makes you sometimes be able to like disconnect yourself, like to be more objective and to not get so deep with people. Well, to a certain degree. Um, that Libra is going to make you want to relate. So there is this aspect of you that's being very social, but you need to learn how to like have circles of friends. And these are concentric circles, and you put a person on whichever circle they belong on. So the inner circle definitely would probably be like your family. Outside of that, it would be like your best friends, people who you can really count on. Right outside that circle, these people are pretty good, but maybe you're not going to talk to them too much about all your problems, maybe just a little bit. But these are people who definitely, if they stop talking to you, it would sort of bother you. Then there's another circle outside of there. These people are just associates. Maybe they're people you work with, neighbors that you see on the street you're not that deep with, but you know, we cool with them. And then there's a circle on the outside. These are the people who are like, you know what, you cannot be very far in because you got on my last nerve. So you're going to be close to the outer circle. You haven't had any deal breakers, but I don't like you that much. So I'm putting you further out. And then there's a circle on the outside that might be with enemies. I don't know if you've had to deal with a lot of enemies. You were homeschool, but that sixth house has to do with enemies too. So, um, but you know, for you, it might just be like picking up on vibes is your enemy, and you just need to not. You need to tune out of people's energy and vibes, or it could be that you literally do somewhat have a propensity for having enemies. Um, this seventh house right here. So when I looked at your chart, I was like, wow, you have some challenging stuff going on. Because I'll put it to you this way, because I have Saturn in my seventh house. This is the energy of, it's sort of like Capricorn. It's the planet that rules Capricorn. And Saturn is one of two things. Either Saturn is going to pinch off love and relationships, or Saturn is going to create longevity. So Saturn in my seventh house, because the seventh house has to do with relationships. It has created, I've been married, it'll be 25 years this year. I've been married to my husband. We got married at 24. So I have reaped benefits, but I have a different sign. My sign is an earth sign. I have Taurus. Taurus ain't going nowhere. Taurus is like, it's going to stick and stay. It's the most inert sign on the zodiac. That's why it's looked at as the bull. It's hard to get a Taurus to move. But if you need a Taurus to be in that thing with you, that Taurus is going to stay there with you, you know? But you have Pisces. And so Pisces makes things go away. You know, Pisces is, it's like, it's the ocean. Things dissolve when it comes to Pisces. Boundaries dissolve. And so, like, there may be times when you were in your relationship with your daughter's father, when he was like, look, you got to know who you are. This is too much. You know, I need you to back away a little bit. You know, you're you, I'm me. Because that's what Pisces will do. It'll make you just be like, I'm one with everyone. And there's no start or end to a person with a lot of Pisces energy, to other people around them. That's why Pisces is so psychic and can just pick up on all kinds of stuff, and it can hear from the other side so easily. The good news is you do have Saturn there. So if Saturn is helping you to have longevity in your relationships, then that's good. But if Saturn is pinching off the ability to have lasting, sustaining relationships, then that's another area where you're going to have to go and heal, because Saturn has to do with karma. Um, and like you're going to pay the piper. That's the kind of, it's reality check energy. So it's like, be real about the relationships that you're in, not just romantic, but these are like one-to-one bestie type relationships, maybe even with family. I sort of see family in this too. Um, and but this Pisces energy, like the way you describe um, your daughter's father, he sounds like a Pisces too. So nice and caring. Pisces never gives up. It's like Taurus. It doesn't really give up. Now, when Taurus is done, Taurus is really done. But you may attract artsy, men and or people who are really into music. I know you said you're into music, and that's in accordance with this sun in Libra. Libra's artsy. So I definitely see the arts. Um, and we, um, someone who is maybe even from another culture. So if you don't get back with him, it could be somebody whose family hails from another country, or that person actually comes from another country. It may be even that you go to another country and find a husband, or maybe you and this guy go live some other place, and that's where you'll have a more lasting, sustaining relationship. I do see the possibility of longevity, but you know, it might be a little bit later too. You may even find that you don't hook up with anybody for a good long while. The other thing is this energy of Saturn is right across from your energy of self. And so it could be negatively impacting, how you feel about yourself. Because Saturn is like, did you do it right? No, you didn't do it right. It's sort of like Virgo energy, except for Saturn is the boss. And Saturn pinches, it just like, it's like, well, I don't know. It's definitely bossy energy, and you're going to pay. And so when you're you may feel highly criticized sometimes by people in your relationships. And you just have to learn that part of the lesson you're coming here to learn is you're not going to be fazed by people criticizing you, because you know who you are. You will take, like you said, you'll take stock, and whatever you should need to change, you'll do it, but you're not going to take the blame for everything. So that's sort of how that could play out. So down here in the third house, this is very important because you have 4 planets down here. This is called a stellium. This is not a planet. It's the North Node, which is very important too. But you have Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, and Pluto. So I want to ask you, okay, first of all, the third house is the house that has to do with siblings, communication, marketing, short distance travels. It's quite a lot. You should learn about the third house, because you are what we say in astrology is you're a third houser. That means you've got a lot of energy in the third house. And so these planets tell different things. Tell me, so that Jupiter down there could indicate that you have a lot of siblings. Of course, I know you have a lot of siblings. But do you have more sisters than you have brothers? And I'm just saying that because Jupiter increases things. So this is a house of siblings. Now I'm seeing Jupiter in the third house could mean you have a lot of siblings. But it's right next to Venus, which could indicate that you have a lot of sisters, maybe more sisters than brothers. Now I will say Mercury is down here, so that could be brothers too. But this house of Scorpio, this is another reason why you are exceedingly sensitive. And so Scorpio, and this is what makes you sort of like a little bit fearful, because Scorpio is very, very paranoid energy. Very, very paranoid. And so, you know, that's just a quality. It's the mind. The third house is about the mind, and your mind is in Scorpio. So I would think, too, another good thing for you would be definitely to um, study things that are spiritual, very similar to what you were raised up with. That's your natural way. And probably I could definitely see you initiating into a goddess tradition. I could see you being someone who's here to share ancient spiritual wisdom, ancient wisdom from the old days, from the ancestors. And, you know, definitely you really need to figure out how to make money online through your writing. I don't know what kind of artist you are. I think you said you make music. Okay, so I could see that. Um, and but through words and, like, you know, like you said, the singing, the writing, but using social media, all forms of communication, and definitely mm, I don't know, just mm, that third house has, oh, skills. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. It's the house of skills. So your skills would include things that are taboo, and, well, like writing and communication and stuff like that is not taboo, but Scorpio is taboo. And so just definitely, I could definitely see you initiating as a priestess, like for real. And you use music maybe to help people heal. You teach music, but it would be different, a different kind of music. Um, but yeah, you definitely are into communication, and you'll do well taking lots of short trips and different things like that. That will make you feel at home if you can travel a little bit, even if it's not far away. So you definitely need to learn about the third house, and you can just search for Mercury in the third house, Jupiter in the third house, Venus in the third house, Pluto in the third house, and North Node in the third house. You could also look up all of these planets in Scorpio. Mercury in Scorpio, Jupiter in Scorpio, Venus in Scorpio, Pluto in Scorpio. But the North Node, it matters more about the house. So yeah, you need to really develop skills and working with small groups, social networking. You know, this is networking energy, the gift of gab, different things like that. You really need to figure out how to make money. This house is the house of self-made wealth, and you have Jupiter, which is like the great benefic there. Um, the main thing you want to do is don't get so many skills that you can't use them and make some money. Um, yeah, you come here to really work with things that have to do, careers that have to do with the air signs. Ruler of the 10th and the 3rd. Yeah, I just really could see you maybe doing what I do. I don't know. Um, I have scorpionic energy, so, and actually my Mercury is in Pisces. So our Mercury is spiritualized. We can really talk spirituality. Maybe you might even become an astrologer. That's something that you really should think about, becoming an astrologer. And the best way to become an astrologer is to listen to horoscopes by professional astrologers. Astro Lada, ASTRO LADA is my favorite one. But most everybody has their own group of, their own astrologer that they like. So the big changes for you this year will come in terms of like creativity, social network, social groups, um, gains, goals. You really need to set some goals for yourself and go for them. You need to open yourself up to be more creative. You need to have discipline in your creative energy. And if you're disciplined, you'll get like great quirky downloads or super intuitive and spiritual downloads, um, maybe even from the ancestors. But um, you have to guard against wasting your time, wasting your energy, just not taking yourself seriously enough and just letting time pass by. And you're like, oh my God, I've got nothing done. You have to guard against that, especially when it comes to your goals. Man. So that's what I'll give for you today. I hope that this is recorded correctly. I think it is, yes. So if you have any questions, let me know. But I've given you a start on how to understand your chart so that you can understand you. And yes, your Jupiter is in Scorpio. So you just had your Jupiter return. That was like a really good year. You had a lot go on with your Jupiter return because you have so many planets in Jupiter. And so that's part of the reason, so much change has been happening and coming out of the Jupiter return, because Jupiter in Scorpio last year was about us thawing out the wounds, because Scorpio is frozen water. It's like the water of the swamp. And so Jupiter came there last year to like unfreeze, unthaw, so we can get our healing. This is one of the reasons, because Scorpio has to do with sexual energy, trust. If you are one who, well, you're Virgo. No, Virgo is actually sort of, I heard a little bit sexual or freaky. But um, there is Tantra as well as tantric yoga. There are people, okay, I'll give you something that is like so plain Jane. People have these parties where like a woman will come and she's like, okay, I got this sex toy and I got this lingerie and I'll sell it to you. And it's a party and everyone's having a good time or whatever. And so that third house, you might do door-to-door sales of sex toys or something like that, because you are a person who that like sex. I mean, people who are scorpionic, sex is a big part of their life, and it's not necessarily because they are. It's really a path to understanding the self. So with it being in your third house like that, you literally could be somebody who, I mean, maybe you can be a therapist, a sex therapist. That's another thing about Scorpio. It's the energy of the therapist. So you could develop skills to help people get sexual healing or overcome trauma. You might be a trauma healer of some sort. And you could use your music to do that. Maybe you teach people how to use sound vibration to heal themselves of trauma. But I forgot what I was telling you. But I was telling you about Jupiter and Scorpio. And so you have so many planets there. Your energy is so wrapped up in Scorpio. And Jupiter, it was moving forward, then it was moving backwards, and it was moving forward. And so you're just getting hit up quite a bit. But Jupiter is good. Jupiter brings healing. Everything that you were talking about, it's like what you get from the Jupiter return. So that's good. Just see this is how I see my friends' children. I'm sure I missed a birthday or two. I did not give you a graduation gift. And I owe you a gift for having that precious baby, even though we don't really know each other yet. But I just want you to receive this reading and know it's my gift to you. You are my Wusi's daughter, which makes you, family to me. And now that you've contacted me on your own, you're now under the umbrella of my godchildren. All my friends' children, y'all contact me, you my godchild. So just receive this reading, enjoy it, use it to help you. And if you have any questions, let me know. Love you, Phynix. Peace.